Hi, hello beautiful people. My name is Lauren and welcome back to my channel, and today we have a book haul. So in this book haul, you're going to see some books I got for Christmas, some book of the month picks, and some books that I bought for myself. Amazon really knew what it was doing with that 3 for 2 sale that it kept on doing towards the end of the year. I kept doing really good and avoiding it, and then that final one, I had a little bit of money left on a gift card for my birthday for my brother, so I had to get a few books. I think I'm first going to start with the ones I got for Christmas, and the first one I got from the lovely Kira, who is a friend of mine from the Citadel. She is also a mod over there for Mel's Patreon, and it is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo, and I am so excited about this. This is a book that is written in verse, and everyone loves this, and this is what made everyone fall in love with Elizabeth Acevedo's writing. I don't exactly know what we're following, but I do know that it involves slam poetry, which is one of my absolute favorite things. I could spend all day just watching videos of people speaking slam poetry online. I just love it so much, so I think that I'm going to really love this one. I don't think I've ever really heard a negative thing about this book, and I know that I love Elizabeth Acevedo's verse writing because I have read Clap When You Land, so I can't wait to see what all the hype is about with this one. The next couple of books are ones that my husband actually got me from Christmas from my Amazon wish list, and the first is one that I saw the description of and just really knew that I needed to add it to my wish list, and it had some authors that I was familiar with, and the book is A Phoenix First Must Burn, and it's edited by Patrice Caldwell. But some of the authors that I was familiar with were Elizabeth Acevedo, Danielle Clayton is in here, Danielle Page, Rebecca Roanhorse, Ashley Woodfolk, and Evie Zaboy. There's also some stories in here from Amory, Patrice Caldwell, J. Marcel Corey, Samaya Dodd, Charlotte Nicole Davis, Justina Ireland, Alea Dawn Johnson, Danny Lore, L.L. McKinney, Karen Strong. But it is a collection of short stories about Black girl magic. It interweaves different fantasy and magic and sci-fi stories all into one, and I am super excited about this since it has some of those well-known authors. I haven't really heard much about this at all, so I'm very intrigued. I really love going into a book and not having anyone else's opinions there to sway mine. The next one is another one that I cannot wait to get to this year, and it is The Martian by Andy Weir. So with the publishing of Project Hail Mary, I've been hearing so much about this book and that book, but I just felt like I needed to read this one first, and it's actually a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be, but I would love to read this and watch the movie because I haven't seen it. But I know this is one that is very beloved by people who enjoy sci-fi, and I am trying to get more into the sci-fi genre, and I think that this would be a great start for me. It is about an astronaut who becomes one of the first people to walk on Mars, and then he becomes stranded there, and that is basically all I know about the premise. But that sounds absolutely amazing, and like I said, I know so many people love this, and I think I will fall into that category as well. And the next one is one that I hadn't really heard about until Mel did a video that featured one of these books, and I do know that this particular series has been turned into a Netflix adaptation, and I would love to be able to watch it. And this is one that my brother got me for Christmas, and it is The Last Wish by Andrzej Sapkowski, and it is from the Witcher series, and I don't really know what this is about, so I'm just gonna kind of read this little blurb that's on the back of the book. It says, Geralt of Rivia is a witcher, a man whose magic powers, enhanced by long training and a mysterious elixir, have made him a brilliant fighter and a merciless assassin. Yet he is no ordinary murderer. His targets are the multifarious monsters and vile fiends that ravage the land and attack the innocent. And I just, I would love to read a book about an assassin, and like I said, I would love to get into the Netflix series. I've heard great things about that. It has Henry Cavill in it. So yeah, super excited to have this one. I'm going to try to stop saying super excited, so excited, very excited, because that's how I feel obviously about all these books, but it's kind of hard to use different synonyms there. The next one is one that came from Mel, and it was a Christmas gift, and it is The Diviners by Libby Bray. Now you can see that my copy is huge because the only hardcover edition they had available on Amazon to add to my wish list was the large print edition. And I mean, this stuff, it's huge print, and I didn't realize that until I got it and I opened the book and I was like, oh my gosh. but you know, it's fine. I know that so many people love this story. I know the last few books in the series have been kind of iffy for everyone, but I would love to get into this and see what I think about it. Next is a book you will have seen me talk about in my January TBR, because it is a book that is on my January TBR, and it was a gift from my lovely Secret Santa, Amber, who has a YouTube channel that I will be sure to link below. And it is In My Dreams, I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. And I have heard nothing but fantastic things about this debut novel from this author. And one of my lovely friends, Victoria, she absolutely loves this story, wants everyone to read it. So I am going to do that. From what I know about this psychological thriller, it follows a group of people who were friends in college, and one of them died or was murdered. And there's sort of a mystery aspect in that they don't know what happened to this person. So one of them has taken it upon themselves to bring them all back together and figure out what happened to their friend all those years ago. I've heard it's very much got the dark academia vibes, pretentious people, and I am so excited about it. I'm definitely wanting to read more thrillers, especially ones that I am excited about. So yes, this one will be getting read very soon. And finally, for my final Christmas gift is one I got for my brother, and I was so excited to see this one because it could not have been better timing, but it is House of Earth and Blood from the Crescent City series by Sarah J. Maas. And obviously this is the first in a series, and I've said time and time again in a couple of videos lately that I have not read the synopsis about this. I just know that it is Sarah J. Maas's first adult fantasy series, and everyone seems to really love this book. I've seen people get really emotional over things that happen in it, which is why I want to go into it knowing absolutely nothing. I want it to have the greatest emotional impact on me as possible. So I'm very excited to be having this on my January TBR and getting it read, and hopefully getting to the next portion of the series next month. Now, the next group is ones that I have bought for myself recently, and this one in particular I was supposed to read in December and I didn't get to it, and I don't know, I may pick it up in sometime throughout the year if I'm feeling it, but it'll probably be saved for next holiday season. And it is Duke Actually by Jenny Holiday. And this follows, from what I understand, a Duke and an ordinary person falling in love. That is all I know about it. I've heard it was kind of middle of the road, but I just love a cute holiday romance, so I'm excited to have this one and see what I think about it this holiday season. The next one is one that I have had my eye on for a while. It's been on my wish list for a while, and I finally got the courage to get it during the 3 for 2 sale on Amazon, and it is One Day in December by Josie Silver. And this is a romance that follows a girl. She's on a bus one day and she looks across the way and there is a guy, and they have a love at first sight moment, and then she thinks she's never going to see him again. And then fast forward, I don't know how long, if it's like a couple of years or months or what, but she's at a party. Her friend introduces her to her new boyfriend, and you guessed it, it is the guy from the bus that she had the love at first sight moment. I think this takes place over the course of several years, and there is definitely cheating involved, which I obviously do not condone in real life, but the angst, the drama in my books, I absolutely love that and will devour it. So like I said, this is one that I've had my eye on for a while. I wish that they didn't have this on there, but I digress. Anyway, I'm very eager to get to this one. I think this is one that I will be picking up very soon, maybe February, March. This next book will complete my collection by this particular author, even though I have read none of her books until she has a new release this year, but it is The Road Trip by Beth O'Leary. And this follows a couple who used to be together, and they both need to get to the same place. So there is a road trip, so they are in close proximity, but I believe there are 2 other people on this road trip with them as well, and these 2 exes no longer can stand each other, so it's got the enemies to lovers aspect, second chance romance as well, and that is pretty much all I know about this. But I just know that a lot of people think that Beth O'Leary's romances are really fun, and maybe now I can binge read them all. So this next one is one that has been making its rounds on TikTok lately, and it is by a very well-known romance author duo, and it is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. And from what I know about this one, it is a friends to lovers romance that has been like breaking people's hearts. And from what the synopsis says, it follows a couple who actually used to be friends a while ago, and then they stopped talking once they realized maybe they were falling in love, and then now they've come back together, and there are dual timelines, and that's all I know. It seems to be very reminiscent of people we meet on vacation, so I think I could really love this one. And it's thicker than I would have assumed, but it is so floppy and I love it. I have a few friends in the Citadel who have read this recently and really loved it, so I would like to board that train and feel the same way about this book. So the next one is one that I got secondhand. I haven't really heard much about this book, but just the title and the premise really intrigued me, and so I knew when my friend Amber was unhauling it, I needed to grab it, and it is The Mary Shelley Club by Goldie Moldavsky. And this particular book follows a girl who pulled some kind of prank at school, and then she becomes like enemy number one, and this attracts the attention of the Mary Shelley Club within the school, which is kind of like a group of mysterious students who do these pranks called fear tests. But eventually these fear tests start to escalate and things become deadly. I think this is more of like a thriller horror, so I'm very intrigued by it. Like I said, I haven't heard much about it, so I'm gonna go in with not much bias, and that is something that I really love. These next couple are ones that I got at a recent trip to Barnes & Noble. I went with a friend and we got some sushi and had just a day of shopping at Barnes & Noble, and it was absolutely wonderful, and I ended up getting 3 books there that I'm very excited to get to. So this next one is definitely one that caught my attention because of the gorgeous cover, and it is Dark and Shallow Lies by Jenny Myers Sane. And this follows a girl in a very small town, and there is some kind of mystery going on. People have been going missing, I think, and there's also some magical elements to it. I don't really know much outside of that, but I mean, this cover, the synopsis, it just kind of vaguely intrigued me. Like the little blurb up here, it says, "In this town, magic runs deep, but secrets run deeper." I mean, come on. That alone just like captures my attention. But it takes place in a small town in Louisiana, which I love that too. Looks like there might be some romance aspects in here too. It talks about a mysterious stranger emerging from the bayou, a stormy-eyed boy with links to Alora, which is the missing girl in the town. Gray realizes that La Cachette's past is far more present and dangerous than she'd ever understood. Suddenly, she doesn't know who she can trust in a town where secrets fester just below the surface like water rot, and where a murderer is on the loose. Nobody can be presumed innocent, and La Cachette's dark and shallow lies may just rip the town apart. So yeah, it sounds, you know, dramatic and like there might be some angst. The cover, I just really had to have this on my shelves. So the next one is a pick I got because I was really searching for something that was angsty after reading the Ravenhood trilogy by Kate Stewart. So I picked up These Hollow Vowels by Lexi Ryan. I saw 3 people on the cover, and I knew that meant there was a love triangle, which always means angst in my eyes. So I have seen this cover around on Instagram, and so I knew that some people were enjoying it, but I didn't really know what it was about. It does follow a girl whose sister gets taken, I believe, and so she agrees to marry this Fae prince. I think he's a prince. Yes, she poses as a potential bride for Prince Ronan, the Seelie prince, who's not quite as wicked as she once thought. And then the other person that she is interested in is like a rival from the Unseelie court. So I'm very interested in this. It's got some Fae. It's young adult. I just think it's going to be a lot of fun. And some of my friends in the Citadel recently read it and said that the end has a wild cliffhanger, and they can't wait for the second book to come out. So I'm ready to hop on that train too. So this next one is another one that caught my eye because of the cover. I am shallow and really like pretty covers, and it is No One Will Miss Her by Kate Rosenfield. So this is another small town murder mystery thriller, and we follow a detective, I believe. A woman has turned up dead. Her husband is nowhere to be found. There's also an Instagram influencer that lives in this town who is somehow connected to the case. This book really gives me the vibes of that movie that had Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick in it. I cannot remember the name of it, but Blake Lively was like this really rich woman, and Anna Kendrick was a mom, and they met at the school and they became friends, and some really crazy things went down between the two of them, and this book just really reminded me of that, and so I picked it up. The next 2 books I have are Book of the Month picks. The first one is the one that I got from the Book of the Year finalists, which is actually the winner, and it is The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. And I still don't know how I feel about this Book of the Year 2021 sticker down here that's like stuck on my book. I guess it's not so bad since it really blends in with the aesthetic of the book overall. I know that this is a historical fiction novel that is Kristen Hanna's specialty. I have not read anything by her, but I'm really excited to get to her works because I know that they're so beloved by many. I know that this one isn't necessarily everyone's favorite, but it does follow the Great Depression era, which is an era that I haven't read much about, and so I'm really intrigued by that. The next one is A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham, and this was an early release in the December picks, and it is one that everyone has kind of been really raving about. In this town many years ago, several girls went missing, and our main character's father actually confessed to the crimes and went away for it. And now in the present day, our main character is a psychologist, and then in her hometown, another girl goes missing, and she starts seeing parallels to when she was a kid and her dad confessed to these horrid crimes. And so that's basically all we know. We don't know if it's her father. Is he released? Is it a copycat? What exactly is going on? But like I said, so many people have been really raving about this one, and this cover is like super spooky. I'm interested to see how this, like, the name of the book fits into the story. I was definitely intrigued by the synopsis when I read it on Book of the Month, because before that I hadn't heard about it, but now I'm seeing it everywhere, so I'm definitely eager to get to this one. And so that is the 17 books that I have hauled in the last couple of months. If you've watched my 2022 goals, then you know that I'm trying to do better about tackling my physical TBR, so hopefully these will be getting read much sooner than later. I know a few of them are already on my January TBR, and I really can't wait to get to them. And as for the rest, there's some that I think I'm really going to love, so I definitely am going to prioritize them. I know a lot of people have been getting books recently for Christmas and things like that, so I would love to know what your favorite book that you got for Christmas this year was. Be sure to leave it in the comments down below. Also, be sure to check the description where you can find links to my socials and other resources. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye!
I was down until you saved me, until you set me free. My eyes were closed, now I see clear as day, and I just wanted to say that you can take me high.